Hello everyone, welcome to session 2 of unit 4, that is Introduction to Python Programming of Statistics and Analytics Lab. Today in this session we are going to have a look at an experiment to write Python program to add to integers and to add to strings. Now in the last class we have already seen how we can add two numbers, that is using plus operator. Adding two numbers. Addition of two numbers is done using plus operator. Now, how we can write the code? Let us store a number, say 30, in one variable, S1, and let us store another number, 40, in another variable, S2. Now we are going to add these numbers. We want to find the sum of these two numbers. So we are going to add these two and store the answer in another variable, that is, we'll name it as S3. So S3 will store the sum of S1 and S2, 30 plus 40. The answer will be stored in S3. And lastly, we are going to print the result. Now, while printing, we'll write the syntax like this. We'll include a string. So in the answer, in the result, your answer, the sum will be displayed along with this string. So your answer, the result, what will be displayed on the computer screen will be this. Sum is 70. So it has displayed according to what we have instructed it to do. We have asked the computer to print sum is the string and then the answer. And it has done so. Now there is another way to add two numbers. Now here in this section, we have given the numbers within the program, but there is another option where we can prompt the user to input the number what he or she wants. Now let us prompt the user to enter the first number using input function in this way. Now along with the input function, we'll have to use the keyword int, because whatever input the user has given, that value should be considered as integer so that the sum operation can be performed. So we'll have to use int bracket input, then we'll have to write the prompt string there. Same way, we'll have to prompt the user to enter the second number using input function. Along with input function, we'll have to use the keyword int, because the entered value should be considered as integer. Next, we are going to add these two numbers and store the answer in another variable, that is S3. And finally, we are going to print the result. Print S3. And your answer will be displayed on the computer screen. Now, string concatenation is a very common operation in programming. Python string concatenation can be done using various ways. Now, in this session, we are going to look at several ways to join the given two strings. So that is, first using plus operator, we can join the strings. Also using join function, we can concatenate the strings. Also using percentage operator, we can do it. And using format function also, we can join the two strings. Now let us quickly see how we can use plus operator to concatenate two strings or to join two strings. String concatenation using plus operator. This is exactly similar to how you found the sum in case of numbers using plus operator. Now let me store a string combination of character using a variable S1. Now how I can say that this is a string? I have wrapped it within single quotes. Now let me store another string in second variable S2. Let me consider the third string also. Third string I have stored in S3. Now I'm going to add these strings or join these strings using plus. I'm going to join S1, S2, S3 using plus, and I'm going to store the answer in variable S4. So this is what I get. So here the three strings will be added and the answer will be stored in S4. Now I'm going to print this answer. So answer what I get will be displayed in this way. Now let us see how we can join the two strings using user input method. Now let us prompt the user to enter the first string using input function, and let us store that string in variable s1. Same way, prompt the user to enter second string using input function, and let us store it in variable s2. Then we are going to display the result of s1 plus s2 using print function. So this is another way to write the code to add or join two strings using plus operator. Next, string concatenation using join function. Let us see how we can write the codes using join function to join the two strings. First string is stored in variable s1. Second string is stored in variable s2. Then I'm going to join the two strings stored in s1 and s2 using join function in this way. And I'm going to print the result. Now, you can see that I have joined the strings in two ways. One in S3 and one is stored in S4. The difference between S3 and S4 is in this S3, within the inverted commas, double quotes, there is no space. So in the answer, when the computer displays the combination or the concatenation of the strings what you have entered, there will be no space in between the words. But in S4, as you can see a space in between the double quotes, when the computer displays the concatenated word, concatenated sentence, there will be space between the words that you have entered. That is the difference you should note. Now this join function is very useful when you want to join the string which are arranged in the form of list or tuples. Now you can see the result of this code on your screen. The first, when the computer prints S3, there will not be any space in between the words. And when the computer prints S4, there is a space in between the word. Next is concatenation of string using percentage operator. I've stored the two strings in two variables. Now I'm going to join the two strings using plus operator and store it in a variable. Let us just see how we can do it. Within the double quote, I should type percentage yes, percentage yes. Now here, in place of percentage yes, what we have typed, our string will be replaced. So the string S1 will come here in the display screen, and string S2 will come in place of second percentage yes in the display screen. Now I'm going to print the result. So the result printed will be like this. Now, if we leave space in between the two percentage s what we have written in the result, also in the display screen, in the computer screen also, there will be space in between the words that you have entered. If you leave no space in between these percentage yes, then in the display also, in the result also, there won't be any space between the words. That we should remember. Now, let us go to the fourth way to concatenate strings, that is using format function. Now let me store the first string in S1 and second string in S2. Now this is the way we join the two strings using format function. Within the double quote, you should include flower brackets and type dot format parenthesis S1, that means your first string, and comma the second string and close the bracket. Now here your concatenated string will be stored in S3. Now I'm going to print the result. So result printed will be like this. Now as you can see, all is the first word I entered, first string what I entered, then well is the second string what I took. Now there is no space between the first word and the first string and the second string, because I have left no space between the flower brackets. If you leave some space between the two, between the pair of these flower brackets, then in your result also there will be space in between the words. Now let us quickly just see how we can actually write the codes to add two numbers and add two strings using Python. Now, how do we go to Python? Just go to search bar and type idle. The integrated development environment for Python, that is idle, will appear. You should click on that to open it. Idle gives you a new environment to type the Python codes. Now here, let us go to new file. Now this is a new window where I can start writing the programs. Now let me write the program name using the comment. Comments should always start with hash symbol. So this is program to add two numbers and to add two strings and display the result. Now let me use the user input method to write the codes. So I should prompt the user to input a number using input function. And along with input function, I should use the keyword int, because the value entered should be considered as integer so that the sum operation can be performed. So int input, then I should enter the prompt string, enter a number. Enter the first number. Then same way, the number entered will be stored in variable num1. Same way, in num2, you prompt the user to enter another number, and let us store it in variable num2. Enter the second number. Now let us add these two numbers and store it in one more variable, that is sum. Sum ಅನ್ನೋ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವ ಎರಡು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇದ್ದು sum ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡುವ. num1 and num2 are added and the result is stored in the variable sum. Now I am going to print this. Now while printing, I want this sentence to be also displayed. So this sum of given two numbers is. Now after this sentence, I want to print the result. Result is stored in sum variable. So comma sum. Then also I should ask the user to enter a string. So str1, this is the variable name. In this variable name, let the string enter be stored. So input enter the first string. Here you need not use int because anyways we are entering the strings. Then in str2, let the second string be stored. We'll have to ask the user to enter the second string using input function. Enter the second string. Now we are going to add these strings and store it in a variable. So let me name the new variable as concatenated string, joined string. Concatenated string. In this variable, I'm going to store the sum of string 1 and string 2. Next, I'm going to print the result. Print. Now, while printing, I want to display this sentence. The concatenated string is, after this sentence, I want to print the result. Result is stored in this variable, concatenated string. Okay. Now, after you write the code, you'll have to save the code. Save the program, what you have written. So let us save. Give the name to your file. Program 20. Now, to run this, you go to Run menu and click on Run module. Now, see, as you have written the code, the computer is prompting you to enter the number. Let me enter the number, first number 20. Let me enter the second number also. See, it's displaying the result, the sum as 50. Now it's prompting me to enter a string. And let me enter a string. This is the first string what I'm going to enter. Now second string, let me give it as well. So it should join these two strings and display the result. The result is displayed here. The join of two string is all is well. Now as you can see, there is no gap or no space between the words what you have entered. The two strings are joined without space. Now if you want a space in between the words, then you can do little change in your program. Now let me do that. Now if you want a space to be displayed in between the two strings, then while joining the two string, you just add a space also in between the strings. That means when you join the two strings, between two strings, you'll have to add a space. Okay, now let us see the result. Save and run. Let us enter a number 10 and another number 20. Now it will display the sum 30. Let us enter the string. It's prompting us to enter the first string. I'll enter the first string. All is. Enter the second string. Let my second string be this. Well, now see the result. There's a gap between the first string what I have entered and the second string what I have entered. So I hope you have understood the concepts of adding two strings and two integers. Thank you. Have a nice day.